And welcome to the regular meeting of the Recreation and Parks Commission. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Julie, you're up.
Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Brandy, roll call, please.
Yes, roll call. All right, we'll start with Commissioner Lee Davis,
Present.
Commissioner Julie Stolnak,
Present.
Chairperson Bob Moda,
I am here.
Vice Chairperson Kelly Watson, and Commissioner Lee Davis, sorry, Dave Loops.
Dave will be here.
Okay.
He's on his way. Okay, thank you. Presentations. We have two tonight. Number one, Employee Spotlight. Christina Cora Beckman, Senior Librarian. Allie.
Yes, well, I'm very excited tonight to recognize one of our star employees who happens to be assigned to the library division, Christina Cora Beckman. And I'm just going to read a little bit about her. Christina Cora Beckman began her career at the El Segundo Public Library over a decade ago, first as a volunteer and then as a library assistant, when a position became open in the Young People's Library Division. She quickly became an integral part of the staff, helping with programming, collection development, and providing reference service at the Public Information Desk. In 2015, Christina promoted to Librarian 1, now moving over to the Adult Services Division, where she continued to provide quality service with an eye on technology for the library's adult customer. As a Librarian 1, she assisted with the library's website redesign, enhanced computer resources, and participated in the city's leadership development program. She was selected as the 2019 City Employee of the Year by the Rotary Club. Christina was promoted again in 2020, this time accepting the position of Senior Librarian for Youth Services. In this position, among many of her other daily duties, Christina has been instrumental in updating the book collections of the main library and the 4 school libraries, adding electronic resources to the library's database offerings, coordinating work at the school and libraries, and improving staff efficiencies at the service desks. And I also just wanted to add, Christina is heavily involved in our employee engagement committee that we have within the department. I think she really understands and exemplifies a positive attitude in the department. She is willing to help with anything. She has been a tremendous support to me in my first year here, and I feel like we can call on her for anything. So, Christina, would you like to come up and say a few words? Yes.
Thank you very much, and couldn't do it without our amazing team, so I just feel really honored to be a part of them and really excited about all the work that we bring to the community. So thank you again for the honor, and I love working with our team, so
Yay.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we will, each time we have an employee spotlight, we do post that on social media, and then I also share it with the city manager's office and the city council, so that she will be recognized duly for her service.
Great.
And you don't have to stay, Christina.
Yes. Second presentation, the 2023 District 9 CPRS Banquet.
Yes, so this is another exciting presentation. The California Park and Recreation Society is our statewide professional organization, and we are in District 9. There's several districts within the organization throughout the state, and they have, CPRS does annual awards, and recently we had several staff members receive awards for their service. So I'm going to just read this little note here. Congratulations to Ryan Booker, Recreation Specialist, Mark Monin, Senior Lifeguard, Joseph Lormans, Acting Recreation Supervisor, on being selected by the El Segundo leadership team to receive awards for their outstanding contributions to the department. So I just want to recognize and congratulate all those staff. We're very proud to have them been able to be recognized at this event and in our organization. So, right.
Congratulations to all 3. Thank you. And the staff. Public communications related to commission business only, and that is within the subject matter under the jurisdiction of this commission. Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close public communications. Consent calendar. Approval of the minutes of the Recreation and Parks Commission meeting of April 19th, 2023. Anyone? Anyone? Anyone?
I wasn't here, so.
Yeah, want to approve the minutes?
Did we have anything in there that needed to be changed? Oh, no,
No.
no. I recommend we approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And we're going to go, did you vote on that?
I don't think I should because I wasn't here.
Okay, that's 3,
That's right.
3, 0, and 1. Okay, we finished that, we're there. No unfinished business tonight. New business. Recreation Parks Renovation Subcommittee.
Yes, good evening, Honorable Chair and members of the commission. We're very excited to be kicking off our Recreation Park renovation project. As the commission knows, we recently contracted with a local firm, LPA, to help us design all of the Phase 1 projects within Recreation Park. So that includes the teen center, skate park, basketball court, and the sports courts, so the tennis and pickleball courts, all of the fields, well, all of the fields in Rec Park. So Brett Field, softball field in Stevenson, and then also a reimagining of the area where the lawn bowling and the other games are over there. So we've had our kickoff meeting with the consultants, and we're getting ready to do some deep dives into interviews with staff regarding programming and how those spaces are being used. But the council, at the few council meetings ago, Councilmember Perstek recommended that I create a subcommittee to work alongside staff and to help advise the council on the progress of the project as it moves along. This will probably be a 2 to 3 year project to get all of this done. So at this time, I'd like to request that the commission appoint one Rec and Park commissioner to sit on the subcommittee and also one alternate commissioner to sit on the subcommittee. We anticipate that we will likely meet maybe monthly. Perhaps there will be time periods where it's a little more, a little less. The other members would be, we will have one council member, myself, our acting recreation superintendent, acting park superintendent, our senior administrative analyst, and then also one member of the Arts and Culture Advisory Committee, which was also recommended by the council because we do want to, hope to infuse public art into the park, and we want to do that early on, not as an afterthought. So that concludes my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
You said once a month?
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested. So,
I'm interested as well.
okay. Go ahead.
I 100% want Bob Moe to be on it. My only hesitation is that a lot of this had already gone before us, and we were the committee. And now it's going to be one person. I would really like it to be one person who has had the most knowledge and has spent the most time and is probably the most dedicated person on this committee, and that would be Bob Moda. So if that's a nomination.
Dave would do just as well. So however that works out, one.
Are there anybody else interested?
Well, I'm interested, but I think Bob would be better. I mean, being on the commission so long and so I am interested if nobody else is going to take it, but yeah.
I know you are. So I guess, do we need to?
We can do a roll call vote, so you can each have one vote, and the first highest vote getter will be the member, and the second highest vote getter would be the alternate, if that makes sense.
Well, and
Okay.
also the other thing is, when are they going to be meeting? They would be meeting during the day. Are you able to make those, Dave, during the day?
It will likely
In the
be
week?
during the day.
In person.
Yes, in person. Thank you for clarifying that, because we have moved back to in-person meetings.
Yeah.
Depending on when the meetings are you amassed? Think about it.
And it could be a situation where both the alternate and the member attend. There's
Right.
nothing that prevents that from occurring. So both be welcome.
I have a lot of interest. I think, well, first of all, no one has nominated me, so I'm not even on the board yet.
You
Well,
can nominate yourself.
But,
I would
Yeah,
nominate you, so.
I don't want, if I could be an alternate and attend and participate, that's really, I don't need to have a lot of influence, I just want to participate. And given that if it's once a month during the day, I think Bob would be a better choice, because I could not commit to once a month in person for 3 years. I don't think that would be a lot. But
Okay,
if the alternate's allowed to attend,
absolutely,
I would love to be able to do that.
yes.
So let's do a vote really quickly and see if we
Okay,
can take
so
care.
we're gonna be or you can just motion to approve a member and an alternate, if one of you would like to.
I have another question.
Go ahead, please.
Being that we are the rec park commissioners, and this is a rec park renovation, why is the entire commission not involved in it?
Well,
Why is it that the council is just, you can appoint one person when this is supposed to be kind of our project?
Well, yes, so you all will be involved, but I think the council wants to be involved early on, and frankly, I think it will be helpful, because what tends to happen sometimes is commission might make a recommendation, or commission might want to go one direction, and it gets to council and it gets punted back. I think this helps to flush those conversations out. Yes, Bob? Yes,
And
Lee?
if I'm not mistaken, council actually wants to have more than just Parks and Rec in it. And to avoid any problems with the Brown Act, we could not have more than 2 people in it, which would be our person plus
The
the
alternate.
second. So that anything that they do will probably come to us.
Absolutely.
And we will be looking at it, and we can still probably give our input, but we wouldn't be at the ground floor, which is what this committee is, I believe, there to do.
Right. Yeah, that's my understanding of it as well, is that everything's still gonna have to come through the commission, but this group would work with the council, with staff, kind of do that, like you said, that
And we're not
legwork
allowed to have more than 2 people
Right.
on a committee outside of
because
the
of the Brown
commission.
Act. That is correct.
Is it possible to consider scheduling meetings at either the beginning of the workday or the end of the workday?
Yeah, so typically when we have a council member that sits on the committee, we look at their availability first, and then we go from there.
So maybe, maybe not.
Maybe, maybe not, yes. I haven't talked with Ms. Perstuck about her
I'd like to,
schedule.
well, we'll see if I get on it, and I'd like to make that request, because then it allows me to potentially attend. If it's the
Right.
middle of the day, it makes it very difficult.
Right.
All right. As we,
My vote would be for Bob Moda.
So would you like to
Surprise.
make a motion to?
Oh, I'm sorry, I make a motion that we vote for a member of this committee to be part of the subcommittee.
It would be Bob Moda, and your alternate is Dave Lubes?
And the alternate would be Kate Hayes.
All right.
and I'll second that if it needs to be seconded, but I don't think it does.
No.
So, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, did you?
I said aye.
Okay, I want to make sure I get it right. That's 4-0. Okay, that was pretty quickly.
So now I'll make the request.
Go ahead.
Again,
please.
officially, can we please, if possible, if the council member, depending on who it is, it could work out either in the morning, 8:30, or
Yes,
4:30, something like that would be awesome.
yeah, we'll check on that.
Okay. That was done, so. Now we're at review of Recreation and Parks Commissioners' terms and appointments to subcommittees.
Yes, Honorable Chair and members of the commission, I believe it was a meeting or two ago when staff were asked to bring an update on the appointments to the subcommittees for the commission. And so we wanted to just kind of go over those appointments at this time. So currently, as of May 2023, we have the Transportation Subcommittee with Vice Chairperson Watson and Commissioner Davis. We have the Aquatics Subcommittee with Vice Chairperson Watson and Commissioner Davis. The Youth Sports Council, Commissioner Lubes. And then obviously the new subcommittee that we just voted in with Commissioner, or Chair Moda and Commissioner Lubes as well. So at this point, you have the opportunity, if you'd like to make any changes to those appointments, you can do that. If not, they would remain.
How are you on sports?
I'm fine
Okay.
continuing, but I'm also fine if, other people are interested in mix it up. I'd be fine giving it up as well, either way.
I'm good with you there. You got it. I'm also fine with aquatics and transportation.
Transportation is, yes,
And
Commissioner Watson and,
Julie's just in the wings waiting for a committee. So-
Well, I had the gateway, but
Yeah, well, I think that went a different way. We don't want to talk about that one.
right. Okay.
So I think we're okay.
Okay.
We don't need a motion or anything for that.
No.
No, we're, perfect.
Nope.
We're rolling right
Yes,
along.
you are.
Okay, reports of subcommittees. Here we go. Aquatic Subcommittee. Lee, you got this?
Yes, there was a aquatic subcommittee. This is a reorganization to bring in people from the outside, as well as Kelly, myself, Ally, obviously the aquatic staff. And we had our first, and the council person, which was, and most of this was brought up from council member Lance Giroux. And we had the meeting, and both Kelly was out and Mr. Drew had a previous engagement with the city, but we did talk about the only item on the agenda, which was creating a work plan for aquatics. We drew up 6 goals. All of them are very similar to what you've heard in just about everything. Successful groups that are still committed to, helping us forward aquatics in El Segundo. One of the things that I brought up, it's been part of my frustration, is what the council's goals are, so that we can set our objectives and our work plan to try to optimize what they want and what they'll back up. So we went through a number of that. The one thing I would say that was very interesting and fun about it was we did have 4 members of the public attend the meeting. And I'll talk on later about one of them. But it was nice, Henry and Joan Stewart showed up, which I'm always excited to see them, and they're real curious about what's going on with everything in aquatics, especially the plunge. So, and I think most people were there to see what our progress is, which we are still waiting to get a report from Department of Public Works,
Yes,
an
so
official update.
I'll, if you don't mind me adding to that.
Please do.
Commissioner Davis. So we did establish 7 goals. So the number 1 goal is to understand the city council's goals for the citywide aquatics programming. Number 2, monitor the ongoing progress of the plunge. Number 3, keep the community informed. Number 4, develop a business plan that encompasses all city aquatics facilities from Hilltop to the plunge to the aquatic center. Number 5, revisit the success criteria based on council goals. Number 6, develop an annual evaluation tool to ensure the goals of the aquatics program are being achieved. Number 7, assist in the development of an ongoing maintenance plan for aquatic facilities, including recommending creating reserves for pool equipment and repairs. So I think it was a very productive meeting. I appreciated that we had community members there as well. It was really just a reminder about how important this is to the community and how closely people are paying attention. So we're going to be working with our communications specialist to push out information as often as we can. We are expecting to get an update soon from Public Works, and we have our next meeting in June 19th, I believe. Don't quote me. So, yes, that's all I have to add.
Thank you. Here we go, big one. Transportation Subcommittee.
Yes.
So I don't know if Lee's going or Ryan's gonna go for it.
Can I introduce Ryan?
Absolutely.
Recreation Supervisor Ryan Delgado.
Introduce himself.
Yes. Thank you all for having me, Commission. I'm excited for this one. Is there a clicker I can steal?
Oh, yeah, a little clicker.
Thank you. No, this one's, like I said, I'm very excited for this. Part of my responsibilities out of the Joslin are seniors, transportation, special events, and back in 2019, we formed the Transportation Committee, really with the goal to review what the city's offerings were, identify any potential benefits when it comes to walkability, bikeability, and look for ride sharing and what can we do better. Obviously, the pandemic came about and really threw some wrenches in things, but it also kind of gave us a blank slate that we were able to start fresh. So out of that was born Lyft. We're about 1.5 years coming up on 2 years of the Lyft program, and you all get to see the numbers each month. That has been rising, rising, rising. Some of the past programs we had were the lunchtime shuttle, and unfortunately during the pandemic we lost drivers, and that program went away. But with that going away, it gives us, like I said, a blank slate. And we're really happy to offer. Kelly, Lee, and I have been meeting for quite a while now. And this new program would be called El Segundo Connect. It's going to be a pilot program. We're going to run it from September 15th to November 15th. It's going to be in partnership with Swoop. Swoop will be able to collect ridership data, who's getting picked up at what stops, how many different people are utilizing the service throughout the day. The pilot program, like I said, will have 16 stops. It's very similar to the lunchtime shuttle route that we ran in the past with some slight modifications when it comes to drop-offs near the metro station, Campus El Segundo, as well as the Aquatic Center. The program will run Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 6 p.m., so that's an extension. The old lunchtime shuttle used to run from 11 a.m., 11:15 a.m. up until 3:15 p.m. So this is going to go longer, which will allow us to I think that's the next slide as I jump ahead of myself. It's going to, again, connect the downtown to the east side of Sepulveda. So there's going to be the ability for people in the business sector to jump on a shuttle, take it over down to Main Street, get yourself some Rinaldi's, whatever you enjoy. I know I like my sandwiches. First and last mile offering, like I said, it's going to have a stop by the metro station. So, you get off work at 5 o'clock, the service will be there to take you to the metro. I know just even here at the city, we have a lot of staff that ride the metro, so that's going to be a nice little benefit to them. It's going to hit all of our major sports centers on the east side of PCH. Campus El Segundo, Aquatic Center, Toyota Sports Center, and then back to residential El Segundo. So we know that AYSO, lacrosse, swim team, all of those things kind of kick off around 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. It's rather difficult sometimes for parents to, we saw Dave coming in a little late today. Traffic can be a pain, not to call you out. But it'll allow the youth to be able to jump on that shuttle, get themselves over there in a safe transportation way. We're already offering that service with our beach shuttle where we transport the youth. So we'll be able to do that. Another feature of Swoop, and that was very popular with the beach shuttle, is there's going to be QR codes at all the different stops. So you'll be able to scan one of the two QR codes, and it will give you the location of the shuttles and where they were at. That was a huge benefit for us with the beach shuttle this past summer. Probably one of the most popular calls we would get during the summer is, hey, do you know where the shuttle's at? And so QR codes, becoming a thing. Everyone's going to know, scan it, and they're going to be able to see. So this is the route that the El Segundo Connect would run. Estimated route time for one shuttle to do the full loop is 28 to 32 minutes. We're going to have two shuttles that are going at a time. We're going to start them on opposite ends, so, hopefully they don't meet in the middle. So the estimated wait time is going to be like 14 to 17 minutes. Trying to be conscious of that business sector and getting people, hour lunch break, 15 minutes there, half an hour to eat, get you back in 15 minutes on your hour lunch break. Those are our various stops. Again, we had some real good success with our lunchtime shuttles, stop 7 over on, Mariposa and Nash. High traffic, there's a lot of business over there, so it'll take people from, the towers, a lot of the main hubs of that business sector on the east side of PCH, and we'll bring them over into downtown El Segundo. We'll have stops near the library, Richmond, Hawley, and Main Street, as well as Grand and Main Street. I think I might have skipped over the survey that we're going to do too. I for sure did before I go to the thank you. We are going to advertise this during the beach shuttle. So the beach shuttle will kick off in June. So we'll have little pamphlets that are going to be advertising this coming along. And we do intend to do a survey at the beginning and at the end to collect people's thoughts. This route was born out of some early survey feedback we got from the community. And that's what we utilized as the transportation committee to put this plan together. And we just want to make sure we're hitting all the marks the community needs. Now I'll go to questions.
Questions, go ahead.
I have two. One is, how do you get the information to all the big, huge businesses over there? Does Chamber help you, or do you have?
I'm going to go through Marcia with that one.
You
So
go through
yeah,
Chamber?
I'll reach out through Chamber, send them. We had a little trifold that we used to use with the lunchtime shuttle, and working on modifying that right now. That'll have all of this information, and then utilize Chamber of Commerce to push out through the businesses.
Cool. Second question, I hear you on there's a stop near the metro, but what does first mile, last mile mean?
So first mile, last mile is the biggest issue when it comes to public transportation. So getting from your house to a bus stop, metro stop, and then getting from work or from that metro stop to work. So that's kind of first mile, last mile, and that's a big deterrent for a lot of people not wanting to take public transportation.
Is that kind of transportation lingo?
Yeah.
Okay, it
So-
doesn't mean anything specific.
Not
Okay.
specific to this,
Just kinda like, that's
but like within the transportation world, that's where e-bikes, those electronic scooters, that closes that gap of that last mile. So that's why you see a lot of those at metro hubs or bus station hubs. You know, Monrovia, where we took the Lyft program model, they have a e-bike hub right outside of a lot of their places, and that allows people to utilize public transportation, jump on a bike, get to work, and then that bike back to the metro stop, and off you go to home.
Thank you. And I guess third is, cool, this is awesome.
Cool, yeah,
Can't wait
thank
to see the
you,
results.
thank you. No, appreciate that.
What's the capacity of the shuttles?
They will be 12-passenger buses, so they're the transit vans, the same ones that we utilize for the summer beach shuttle.
Okay, and in the past, when we had the lunchtime shuttle, what was the capacity? I mean, was it like 12 then?
It was about
And
12,
are they,
yeah.
do they
it's gonna
ride
be-
pretty full?
It's going to be similar. Stop data varies when we pulled through some of the numbers, but there was, in my time of running the lunchtime shuttle and the data I looked at, there was never a time where we had a full one and had to jump or dismiss people and go drop people off at a certain area. With the lunchtime shuttle, God, it was like 80, sorry, those are the shuttle numbers, but it was 12 to 15 and then 10 to 12 is what we utilized then.
Okay, and is there any fee associated with this?
Not currently, so there won't be any fees currently. We really want to encourage people to jump on the ridership. Once we finish the pilot program, then we will look at discussing some sort of fee, whether that's in addition to the rec park card, some sort of rider pass, something that can even help bridge and go back into Prop A so that we might be able to expand offerings or, add another shuttle to it and things like that.
Okay, because the beach shuttle is $1, correct?
No, we removed that dollar last summer, so the beach
Okay.
shuttle just required a rec ID.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Lee, anything?
I just want to thank Ryan for all the work he's done. I've been a part of it. Both Kelly and Ryan are much more well-versed in it than I have been. I've been very impressed with a number of things. One of the things that I did want to add to it is that I think a lot of things that were lost in last summer's beach shuttle was that they'd see these black vans running around and they would say swoop, and they weren't quite sure that they were public transportation. So we're working on signage to put it on there so it'll actually state that it's the El Segundo Parks and Recreation, beach shuttle / transportation. I think, what was the name?
And El Segundo Connect. And I did email with Alex and Pete. They were the ones who came to council when we did the original presentation. And they're very good with us sticking some magnets on there, something to brand the transit vans as this is El Segundo Public Transportation.
And again, great job.
No, I appreciate it, Lee. Thank you. And I know Commissioner Watson's not here, but thanks to her as well.
So, thank you for all your work, and this sounds like a great idea. So, with that, I would like to move approval for that. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
That's 4-0.
And just to note, we will be bringing this to the city council.
Okay.
So we appreciate your approval and recommendation. And I also want to commend Ryan. He's done a fantastic job on this. He's really taken this, he's done a lot of research, and he's really kept the project moving and had to talk to several vendors. So good job, Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Okay. We are Youth Sports Council.
Unless there's a major issue or concern, we only meet twice a year, and there hasn't been one in a couple months.
Okay. No major issues? That's great. All right, Director reports. Ally?
Yes, Honorable Chair and members of the commission, you have my written report before you, so I'm not going to go through everything, but I did want to point out, and I wanted to commend the Teen Center staff. They have started providing structured activities twice a day at the Teen Center, so teens have the option of coming over and just hanging out, or they can get involved in these activities. It's a variety: sports, arts and crafts, cooking, tournaments, everything that the teens love to do. But it takes a lot of creativity, 2 activities a day, for the entire month. But I do want to commend Terrence Wilson and Devin Zamora for taking that on. And also we are getting ready to have an open house at the Teen Center on, I believe it's June 14th. Do you know the time? I think it's 3 to 5. 3 to 5 p.m. on June 14th. We're going to have an open house at the Teen Center where we're going to invite teens to come out. We're going to have food, music, games, and we'd love to have the commissioners stop by if they're able. So I'll make sure to have Brandy send you the flyer so that you can put that on your calendars. But we're really excited about some of the things that are happening over at the Teen Center. And if you have any other questions on my report.
Okay, anybody have questions? Let's start. Dave, anything?
No, sir.
Lee? Julie?
Well, for Joseph, because
It's all part of it.
Yeah, you
Go-
can- if
Go
you-
for it.
how is the pine beetle eradication coming?
At this time, we don't have any issues throughout the city. We already removed the trees that were diseased, and so far we shows no progression.
How many trees did we have to remove with that?
About
9.
9.
Okay. All right.
They've been replaced with other.
So, I just recently drove across country, 13 states, and you could see the pine beetle throughout all those states.
Right.
Just driving along and just huge areas of pine trees just dead.
Yeah, it's devastating.
Yeah.
Once it attacks, if you don't remove right away, let it spread. So, we cut it off pretty, we just hope that it doesn't continue anywhere else.
Right. Okay.
This time, it's no sign of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else?
None of
Oh,
that.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was quick. Commissioner comments? Commissioner Davis, Lee?
Yes. As stated earlier, as part of the aquatic subcommittee, we did have a number of people from the community come in, one of which was the president and acting member of SCAC. He was extremely dishappy with a number of things about the pool, most of which was probably the heater, which was 6 months ago, which everyone was disappointed with the heater. But he had some other things where he was saying that we make it very difficult for him. He's not profitable. He's looking to quit in 1 year and volunteer his time, which would be a direct quote. I feel horrible that he feels that way. I would like to see on the next aquatic meeting, we have a item placed on the agenda to look at options that we might be able to either help him or lessen his burden with his program. And on that agenda item, I'd also like to review his payment history, if possible. One thing that was mentioned, he did mention, is he was very happy with Joe, and I think everyone who knows anything about that pool knows how well Joe does, from the basics of training new staff to trying to get everything together and really seeing to it that we have a first-class operation. And the learning curve has been slow and long, and I think everyone just loves Joe's demeanor and the way he's handling a lot of things, even including Clay Evans, the guy from SCAC. So with that being said, my other thing was the report that we were given as a subcommittee on transportation. It worked extremely well. It worked within the boundaries, and it was done almost perfectly in the fact that we were able to put it together, get some reviews, talk to everybody, bring it before council, and then it goes to, before the commission, and then it goes to council. When 8 years ago when I first came in, that is how a lot of things worked, and it's nice to see it. I hope the Parks and Rec rebuild goes very similar, where the subcommittee brings something together, it comes to this group, and then it moves to council. So that us being the 5 that are supposed to be the Parks and Rec, oversight, get to see it prior to it going to there. Aquatics hasn't always worked that way, and I know there's a lot of other moving parts. A lot of those same parts will be in play with parks renovation. So, to keep it really positive, look at what was done with transportation and how it went. And I think you'll find it going much smoother when it comes before us and then gets to council. So council doesn't have to pick it apart. Either we can or the subcommittee can. And that's about all I got. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Smolnak, Julie.
Yes, I have several things, but can you just tell me what is SCAC?
SCAC is an acronym for Southern California Aquatics, and it's a master's, which is adult swim team.
Okay. Thank you. So I have several things. Starting with the first thing, I wonder if anybody saw the article in the Daily Breeze about Redondo Beach's new community garden. It was I think it was before I left on my trip, so it was in the beginning of April at Alta Vista Park. And they had done a new garden there. They have ADA plots. They have a lottery system where they're charging like $120 a year. The plot is 4 foot by 8 foot. All of the beds are raised instead of down at ground level. They have a composting area. Those that maybe don't have a plot can pay a $35 a year fee to have a membership, and they can go in and get all the compost and things that they need. They do seed exchange events. And I have been talking for a while that, I think that, and it would be part of the park renovation, that we need to increase, and we have the room to increase our community garden size there along the Joslin Center, and raise the plots like they've done. Also, make it ADA accessible. You have a lot of seniors that are over there and they're not able to get down on the ground and would appreciate something that is up higher. They also had bluebird homes that were there to bring the bluebirds in. I've had a couple of people contact me, like they'll be walking through the park and they send me a text and they go, "Hey, what's this garden thing that's near the Joslin Center?" They don't even know what it is. If we have some type of signage to talk about that's community garden, and highlighting the garden to the community. I think that we could be doing a lot more over there with our community garden, and I think it needs some work. So I was just wondering if anybody had seen that in the Daily Breeze. It was a nice article and a nice thing that they're doing there. The other thing is, once again, I noticed it's just one right now, but Joseph, maybe your guys could take it down. People seem to continue posting advertising signs on the fence at Imperial and Center Street. There's a roofing sign that's there right now. And so we don't really want to get that started where everybody thinks they can post their free advertising on our fences there. And also when I come off the freeway and around that bend from Imperial onto Little Imperial, you have the area after you pass the wall that is just grayed out mulch that's there. And there's nothing planted. And, you know, you're coming around and you look at those businesses there. And I think that that could be an area where we could do some of the blue butterfly habitat, you know, or at least maybe put some trees. I don't think there's any sprinklers right in that area, which is the buckwheat doesn't really need. So if we could look at doing something along there, because it looks pretty bad, especially when the vine is dead on the wall, and then you just see nothing but dead vine, and then you come around and there's just nothing. So if we could maybe look at that area to get that planted with maybe some of the buckwheat. And then another thing is we've talked a couple of times about renewing rec park cards and how we go about that. And is there a way that we could do it online instead of coming in person? So for instance, my neighbor who works long hours was coming down to renew her rec park card, and she happened to come the day of the hometown fair. But she walked to rec park and she got there, I think it was about 9 o'clock, and she was like, well, the clubhouse isn't open. And I said, well, she texted me and I said, go to checkout. So she goes, so she said she'd already left, gone to have some coffee. She was going to come back at 10 o'clock. So she comes back at 10 o'clock. She's like, clubhouse still isn't open. So I told her, go to checkout. So she goes to checkout, 10 a.m. She said, the window is open. Nobody's there. And so she said she, you know, tapped on the counter, said hello. Nobody came to the window. She goes, I hung around for 10 minutes thinking maybe the person went on a restroom break. Nobody ever came to the window. And so she was here, she made 2 trips, and she's like, I still couldn't get my card renewed. Isn't there an easier way than me coming down and having to bring stuff and get this card renewed each year? So we ought to look into that. Is like, can they not upload, you know, their documents and, you know, do it all online instead of having to come in person? And especially when people aren't there at the window. And it was, like I said, it was on Saturday, the day of the hometown fair. So I don't know if maybe short-staffed or something like that.
We can look into that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing is, and I bring this up quite frequently, because it's so frustrating driving down PCH, and I don't know what it is with all of our landscape companies that we hire. They don't seem to look past the planters. And they don't take their weed whacker and go all the way down that median and take care of the weeds. And sometimes we have weeds that are this high on PCH in the bricks along there. And I watch those guys a lot of times when I'm driving by, and they're just working on the planters. And I'm like, look behind you, there's all kinds of weeds coming up out of the bricks. And if they could just, you know, go down, maybe spray them so they die, but cut them down, because you're driving along and some of the medians look horrible with those weeds, and I don't think we should have them. And so I don't know why it is that they don't walk that entire median when they're working on it.
I will talk to street department. They're the ones that handle all the hardscape.
Street.
We handle all the green stuff. So
Okay.
I'll talk to their supervisor tomorrow morning and see what he can do about excavating the weeds throughout the city.
Okay,
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you. Oh, one other thing on those medians. A couple of years ago, I don't know if it was the owners or the people out at the Edge, I think the Edge is at the back there on the shopping center. At the plaza, but isn't it the Edge it's called in the back where like Active was and all that? You know, and they have those sculptures that are back there, and I know at one time they were wanting to get rid of some of those sculptures, and because they contacted Marcia at the chamber about it, did, you know, the city want those sculptures, and they turned them down. And if those things are still available, you know, it would be something that could look at putting in the medians along PCH, because our planters are pretty much dead. You know, Christopher has said that it's supposedly that the water line going under the street is not working or something. But I think we could do better with those planters, and maybe some public art or something could be going along PCH, because City Council made a big deal about changing that from Sepulveda to PCH, because this was gonna be, you know, the corridor. But there hasn't been a whole lot of attention paid to that corridor. And so I don't know if those sculptures, if they're still wanting to give those up. You know, that's just an idea of, that could be placed different areas around town or down PCH.
We can share that.
Okay, I think that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner Lubes, Dave.
The older I get, the more I appreciate our parks in the city. And so I just wanted to take a moment to thank you for keeping them in great shape. There's always areas that can be improved, but all in all, it's just so much fun to drive by our pocket parks. Rec Park has always been super busy, but it's just, again, I know it's partially my age, but as I walk through the park, there are still hundreds and hundreds of people, and it's just so fun. It continues to be, and so thank you for keeping it in good shape. It's bittersweet, you know, the renovation project is fun, and I'm excited about it. And I hope to be able to maintain some of the historic things while still, you know, making improvements and bringing some things up to the current day. So thank you for everything you and your team do at all the parks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. We've been here long enough tonight. I specifically want to thank Brandy for everything that she does and takes care of getting our agendas to us and immediately answering the phones when called. So thank you. And with that, we go back to director comments.
Yes,
Ally.
so thank you for your acknowledgements of the staff. I agree, they do a terrific job. Brandy was out for a couple weeks, and I almost fell apart without her. So I understand completely, and I do appreciate the acknowledgement for Joseph and his team, because they have really stepped it up in the last 6 months. I've just been so impressed by Joseph's leadership and the way that he and Sean have worked together and really kept that department moving forward in Chris's absence. So I appreciate those comments, and I'm sure we'll share them with staff. The only other note I wanted to share with the commission is that yesterday we had a strategic planning session with the city council. It was the city council and the E-team, along with a consultant, to go over the current goals of the strategic plan that were for 2022, 2023, to give status updates on each of the goals, and then also introduce new goals and then reprioritize the goals. So they will be making some changes to to that document, and I'm sure that that will then be distributed to the commission and council at a later date when they make those changes. But it was a really good, informative, open discussion about priorities. And the two that pertained to us the most that they prioritized was completing the plunge, and then also completing all of the projects within Rec Park renovation project. So I'm excited to see those in the plan. It really helps to get those, you know, kind of memorialized in a planning document, because that's how we end up with resources and able to prioritize those. So that was the one thing I had to share.
Thank you. And with that, we'll adjourn to the next meeting, June 21st, 2023.
First day of summer.
Yep.
See you then.